When we went to that little Christian school, there was a lot of Air Force fighter pilots there that teach that train people, and they've got on those jumpsuits with those weighted things in the back, and they had those hats on, and everybody had their hair shaved and all that, and so that school had a big thing where it was like Daddy Day, where your dad comes and talks about what they do for a living, and so they had these fighter pilots like, Maverick, coming with this big thing on their head with that thing, and these children were fascinated, and my boy was fascinated, and for a long time wanted to go in the military and was just fascinated by it. My poor husband had to go and talk about installation in the side of mobile homes. But he took a video and it showed men blowing installation in the side of these houses. And the kids kind of liked that. And then I brought extra candy and threw it at little kids. He really does not believe in fancy cars. He doesn't think anybody needs a nice car. My children drive old, beat-up cars, and what he does for me, he'll buy me a car about a year old, pay cash for it, and then make me drive it the rest of my life. I finally had to put my foot down because I was driving a 2009 white Honda Pilot, and they're wonderful cars, but if you don't know what that model looks like, it looks like I was delivering Lay's potato chips. I never felt pretty in it. It had over 239,000 miles on it when lights started flashing in it saying, "Get out, Leanne, get out." One of my good friends said, "Leanne, I've got a gas fireplace in my master bedroom and I love that thing. But every time I turn it on, Sam thinks we're gonna do it." I can't even enjoy my own fireplace. And this is what's crazy. This Invisalign tray, if I don't have it in, if I'm soaking it in some Polident, and I forget about it, my husband's like, but if I pop that Invisalign tray in, he's like, "Good night." So you girls that have got young boys, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have to hand him over to another woman. And my boy said to me, "Mom, she is my best friend. She's going to be my wife. I'm supposed to cling to her. That's biblical." And I thought, why did I show him the Bible? But there was no cussing, and I said, "Nobody's gonna cuss in this house." And when I mean cuss, like the F word, F-A-R-T, no ma'am, no ma'am. And so I said, "Nobody's gonna call anybody butt or stupid, all right? Not to mention nasty, terrible words, but I said, nobody's gonna call anybody butt or stupid." They did exactly like I told them. Those first two would have never uttered a word. That third one came along. It started out with spell cussing. She'd come in a room and go, "What the H?" She calls my husband Chuck. His name is Chuck. She go, "Chuck, you a-hole." And my husband just gets so tickled. And then she'd come in a room and go, "What's up, mofos?" But anyway, so my middle one, I said, "It's your birthday. What do you want?" She goes, "Well, I could use some new prescription glasses." And I said, "Oh, good. Why don't we get you a flu shot to go with that?" Were y'all so surprised that Nate Bargatze came in here? Is that not crazy? When they called and asked me can he come in and do for the tonight? I was like, what? He can do whatever he wants to. It's like Elvis. He is blown up all over the country, and he was so cute and in his pants. Did y'all notice that? Tiny, lean. I was like, "Are you not eating bread?" thank y'all for coming out and supporting me during the COVID. Is this the craziest thing? Is this the craziest thing we've ever been through? I know, I feel disoriented. Okay, I've got to say, because last night was my first time on stage since March the 7th, and I'm not kidding, I almost fainted back there. I was so torn up, and I didn't know my act. I couldn't remember it. I still don't know it tonight. I still don't know. I don't know, and y'all may have to help me. And I've got pads of paper, and I may have to. This says, eat a boiled egg. I have no idea what that means. It's just me and my husband at home. We're empty nesters, and I bought a Target gown, and it's not that cute. It's really not that cute. And if I put that Target gown on, he's like, and I'm like, it's not cute. I don't know why he thinks in his mind that Target gown. So I don't wear that Target gown very often. Okay. I've been washed in the blood, but I've been a horrible, horrible person. Not too bad, but okay. So this baby has been just like an old man all of his life. Let me give you an example. He had a little girlfriend in high school, and he would go over to her house and they'd watch movies. And he came home one night and he used to tell me everything. And I said, "What y'all been doing?" He said, "Well, we've been watching television and kissing on the couch." And I said, "Okay, baby, okay. That's all right. That's normal." But I said, before you know it, you've got your hand on somebody's leg, your arm around, and things can get out of control. And I just say, slow it down. He looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, "Mom, I've prayed about this. Nothing like that's going to happen." And I know he meant that. And all I could think of to myself was some of the nastiest things I ever did. Was at the Adams United Methodist Youth Fellowship on a hayride. I don't know what it was about hay that set me on fire. I wish it did now, because I could get a new purse out of that. Okay, y'all, have you ever heard of lock-in? I know everybody in here that has been from Chattanooga has probably been raised in church. Okay, I don't know who that little darling, sweet fool was that came up with the lock-in. Some probably little woman in a committee meeting. And she probably said, "Oh gosh, y'all, let's come up with something for all the hormonal teenagers. Let's gather them up and put them in the church building and lock the door and turn the lights out and leave them there all night. Maybe somebody, Church of God, join the CrossFit." Thank you.